welcome back to Outpost 138, because we are 138.
Yes. we are also legally distinct 138, so.
Exactly.
Fucking stay away from us, Jerry. Jesus.
Yes, we are Outpost 138, a horror podcast. This January, our sponsor is Blood Babies, the only sacrifice you'll need.
Also known as meat puppets on the street.
Yes. I am Stefan JD, and here with me today is...
former President Gerald Ford. No, I'm Rob St. John.
Yes, Rob St. John. We're going to continue our discussion with Friday the 13th. This one specifically is part 5, the black sheep. One of the black sheep out of the series, I should say. Rob is going to take this one over, so I don't have to do most of the talking. I just want to say one thing to everyone, and that's that we are going to take a break in the F-13 series after this episode. Yeah, we're going to do something drastically different, and then we'll come back to it later. Anyway, take it away, Rob.
I would, like you said, the black sheep, controversial entry into the F-13 legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be impossible to talk about this without saying that in this movie it is a copycat killer. I won't say who, but it is a copycat killer. It's divided in the fan base on whether you like it or you don't like it. So we'll just see how, you and I come to our thoughts on it at the end. We start off in a heavy storm. Somebody's walking in this storm in the middle of the woods, and it is, of course, a young Corey Feldman. He couldn't come back to do the whole movie because he was shooting Goonies at the time. He just did this part as kind of like a flashback, because he is walking through the woods in the storm, and he sees Jason's burial site, which is weird because I don't think anybody would ever bother to bury Jason. He sees it, and 2 ne'er-do-wells, I don't know what they are. They're not teenagers. They're old. They're like my age. They're going to dig up Jason for whatever reason, and they dig him up. I mean, they do. I mean, they're just like, we're going to dig him up. I'm like, okay.
We should mention, too, that this is they had to film this later, so it was in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, this is in Corey Feldman's neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, and if you look at the grave where they dig up Jason, it's the shallowest grave.
Dude, he's in there like 6 inches maybe. Of course, Jason comes to life. Stab. Kills the 2 guys, and he notices Tommy, and he starts walking towards Tommy, and he raises his machete, and then we cut to Tommy now is, I believe, is he 17? He's like 16, 17. Yeah. He's in the back of a medical transport vehicle, not an ambulance. Basically what it is he has been in and out of psych wards and institutions, since part 4, which is understandable. He's on his way to Pinehurst, which is would you say it's kind of like a new age kind of psych treatment place for troubled teenagers?
Yeah. I mean, it's like an out-of-the-way, small-town, wayward youth, like, campsite where they go to help these kids kind of turn into the adults that they should be.
Yeah, it's
responsible adults.
Like a halfway house, almost.
Mm-hmm.
He's being transferred there, and we should point out that now this is when Tommy is being played by John Shepherd. He does it well, though he did not like being a part of Friday the 13th, like a lot of actors said. So they get there, and one of the medical guys that's helped transporting Tommy, he's our sleazeball for the movie. He is just awful. He just looks like, the most 80s awful, ugly porn star guy. I don't know what you want to call him. We get to meet 3 members of the staff. We have Pam, who is the assistant. We have Dr. Matthew Laughton. I think Lawton. He is obviously head of it. And then I can't remember his name because everyone kind of refers to him as grandpa or grandfather. Mm-hmm. He's an older black guy who's like, he's the cook, and he seems to be kind of like the maintenance man and that kind of thing. And those are like the only real staff. And the rest we have is the kids there, the teens that are there. We have Joey, who is overweight, and you can tell that he is mentally slow. That's not me just trying to be like an asshole. So, he's retarded. No, he is mentally slow.
Mm-hmm.
We have Robin, who is just generic teen girl. Although apparently the actress is a gold medal Olympian. So there's that. We have Best. All right, you ready for this hot take here?
Let's do it.
Best girl in the F-13 series, Violet.
Do you mean aesthetically?
Yeah. She is new wave all the way. You see part of her room, and there's a lot of David Bowie stuff in her room. There's Duran poster hanging up. There's stuff like that. She's very, very new wave. And she does her makeup and her hair. New wave, and it's great.
Would you say that new wave was kind of like the seed for goth, 80s goth?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it, but I mean, even then, back then, didn't you have like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and Susie Sue and stuff like that?
Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's my favorite. Oh, and a quick thing about her is she is the daughter, the actress. She is the daughter of Brooke Bundy, who played Kristen's mom in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 and 4. She was the one that could pull people into her dreams. That was her dream power.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oddly enough, she kind of reminds me of Tuesday Night.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Because her mom was in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and she was in Friday 13th. Like I said, I love her. She's awesome. Then, we have the other two girls, or excuse me, the other two kids. We have Vic, who is, we'll just say he has anger issues. Vic is an angry.
He'll be in the movie for long.
He is an angry young man, played by the late Mark, I believe it was pronounced Venturini. He is also, for the same year, 1985, he was Suicide in Return of the Living Dead. This ain't a costume, this is a way of life.
Forgot that.
Yeah, this is a way of life. That's him. That's Tarman biting his head. That's him. So well, that's cool though, right?
Yeah.
But sadly, he passed away in I think 96. He had like leukemia or something. And his girl Tina, who is the hot one of the group, right? She's the promiscuous one. And what's great is her actress. Her legal name is Debbie Voorhees. And people, she says still today that people, they don't recognize her from the movie, but to be like, oh my God, your last name's, Voorhees, just like, Jason. And she always replies that, yes, he's my husband, and getting blood stains out of his clothes is a son of a bitch. So,
well, wait, she's not the girlfriend of Vic though, is she? Because Vic's the guy who's chopping wood in the movie, and then isn't she getting?
Oh no, you're right. You're right. That's because Vic is the angry guy. Tina, who is Tina's? Oh God, I can see him plain as day.
Yeah, generic
Billy,
white guy, Billy.
Yeah, Billy. He's our generic, promiscuous guy. And then finally, of the kids, we have Jake, who is also kind of generic, but he has a very bad stutter, a really bad stutter. And anyways, we get all introduced to them, but the way that we get introduced to Billy and Tina is the sheriff has picked them up. They were boinking on a nearby farmland, and that's what it was. And he's picked them up, and he's dropping them off, and he's talking to the doc. He's like, Doc, you can't keep letting these kids get away like this, because the Hubbards, that's the name of the people who own the farm, the Hubbards aren't taking kindly to it. Wouldn't you know it, as soon as he said that, Ethel Hubbard and her son Junior show up. And man, you want to talk some white trash characters. How else would you describe Ethel and Junior other than inbred white trash?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like Super Hicks. The chick who plays Ethel, she is actually wearing her, what's it called? Her
wig?
Her wig. Yeah, that she was in that, because she was in another movie with, what's his name? Burt Reynolds, and she played a hooker in that movie, and they really liked her hair in it, so they told her just to wear the same wig for this part. It's all disheveled and stuff, because obviously she's a hick. And she does say one of my favorite lines, though, because her son is like, she's yelling at the sheriff. She's like, Sheriff, you keep those kids off my property. And her son is like, yeah, you tell him, Ma.
You tell him, Ma.
And yeah. And she's like, she turns around. She's like, will you shut the fuck up?
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite lines.
She's incredibly verbally abusive to her son. But like you said, she's digging into the sheriff. This whole crazy farm needs to be shut down, and this and that. And I'm pretty sure Junior has, I think it's something like echololea or something. It's a tick, a mental tick, to where you repeat things that you hear said, because he constantly repeats what his mom says. But what's great is when they pull up, and the sheriff, he seems to be a pretty cool dude. Like, he's actually not written as like an inept dumbass. when they pull up, as soon as she gets off the motorcycle or whatever, he goes, "Morning, Ethel, don't you look lovely?" Just fucking with her already. And so we got that, going on where Ethel wants this place closed down, and the kids are constantly messing with her. And we cut to Tommy getting situated in his room, and we meet Reggie, who, God, he's an annoying little shit.
I love Reggie.
You love Reggie? Reggie drives me crazy, dude.
I love him. Reggie the Reckless.
Oh, fuck, yeah. He needs his grandpa to hit him with a cast iron skillet or something.
Yeah,
we meet Reggie.
He says a funny line to Tommy because he scares him. He says, "You're scared of spiders." And Tommy doesn't say anything. He's like, "You're scared of fake spiders? You're scared of fake spiders on a string?"
Yeah, but then Tommy scares the hell out of him with one of his homemade masks.
Yeah, he turns around after he puts it on. Yeah.
Yeah, but we see that Tommy he's not psychotic and like super violent or something, but he's very withdrawn into himself. He doesn't really speak. It's not like he attacked Reggie for scaring him or something. He even smiles at him. He's just like withdrawn in himself. But anyways, we go to the next day, and Vic, our angry boy suicide from Return, is chopping wood. And
hey, that's not wood. That's a way of life.
Oh my God! I hope you edit that out. But then Joey, the mentally slow kid, he's trying to make conversation with Vic, and he's trying to be nice to him and everything. And Vic's an asshole. And he like offers him a chocolate bar and everything. As Joey finally sees that it's not happening, and he starts walking away, and Vic snaps and chops him up with the wood axe. Whacks him a few times in the back, and takes an arm off too.
Yeah, and as we'll learn later, this is the whole thing that sets off this movie is a mentally ill child with a candy bar offered a guy with an axe.
Yep. So sheriff comes, local ambulance guys show up. The sheriff talking to the doctor. He's like, "Is there any immediate family I can notify?" And the doctor tells him, he's like, "No, mom has passed. Dad is, we don't know. He's just been bounced around in homes his whole life. So, there's no one to contact." The sheriff's going to haul off Vic. The ambulance drivers go, they're going to pick up. That's when we see what the body looks like. Like I said, he's missing a limb and everything. And one of the ambulance drivers is like a huge dick, like in front of these other kids and everything that just saw one of their own get murdered. He's like, "Oh, you fucking pussies." It's like, are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah, his name's Duke.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Duke. Fuck Duke.
And he tells the other ambulance driver, Roy. He says, "Roy, come get your hands dirty."
Yeah, which is, like I said, he's doing this in front of the doc, in front of the other kids, possibly in front of law enforcement. But anyways, that's kind of like you said, it kind of sets things in motion. And then we cut to that night, and it's just these two random greasers having car trouble on the side of the road. And this is the weirdest thing. It's like, why are you greasers in 1985 or whatever?
Yeah, because they're dressed like wannabe Freddie Mercury's or something. Their names are Vinny and Pete, and they do say that they're going to go see women. Well, they actually use the C word, which just makes you want them to die. But they're like secretly for each other, right? That's what the vibe I get.
I'm not sure. I just know that it's like, as soon as you see these two guys, you're like, all right, they're just here to add to the body count. And that's exactly what happens, in that one of them gets a road flare to the mouth, like he shoves it in his mouth. And the other one gets a machete to the throat slash because the killer is hiding in the back of the car. This is something that we're going to see a lot in this movie, and that these kills are very heavily edited and cut. The MPAA tore ass into this movie.
There's still some good ones, but
there's some okay, but for the most part, though, especially when you compare it to what we just saw in 4, what the director wanted to do was he shot a bunch of nudity, way more than ever had been in an F-13. And what he was hoping was they would concentrate on the nudity, that they would leave the gore in. But it backfired, and they went heavy against the gore and the nudity. So this is one of the entries that is just butchered.
Well, anyways, we missed a couple of kills here on the rating scale. I mean, with Vic and the axe, what would you rate that kill?
Oh, that's like a 4 because it's like kind of out of nowhere. And if Friday 13th, you expect Jason to be the killer, and then all of a sudden this dude just butchers somebody else in front of like a whole bunch of people. It's like, oh. Shit. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we don't see the actual the wax of the axe, but we do see the aftermath, and that's pretty good. And 4 out of 5.
I had two minds about it. Like, 4 out of 5 because it kind of sets the story in motion, and then the like other side of my head was like maybe a 0 because it's kind of in bad taste that he's doing it to a special needs guy.
Yeah. And using that as the murder of a special needs teen as a catalyst. I don't know.
As the crux.
Yeah. I do not have any, I don't have kids, and, I don't have a special needs child. So I can't tell you if that could be deemed offensive or not. Mm-hmm. Using that plot point or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, if anything, it probably just hasn't aged well, but it is super fast, and technically there is revenge for it.
Yes, and it definitely makes you suspect Vic, and it makes you hate him, which I'm sure is what they set out to do with that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know about you, but I'd kind of give like maybe a 2 out of 5, 1 out of 5 for the Vinny and Pete, because it's just whatever.
Yeah, it's like whatever. It's like, why are you here anyways? The pad to film out. So we get that, and he kills the random greasers, and we cut to the next morning. Tommy is waking up, but he's having a panic attack. I don't believe we see it, but we hear him, the lines from part 4, die, when he's hitting Jason with the machete. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh shit. So he jumps up and he takes some meds, and he looks in the mirror and he sees Jason. We have to specify that it is Jason, because the mask is fucked up. It's bloody. It's nasty. He's nasty. He's not seeing something else. He's seeing Jason, but it is just in his head. He's not really there.
Yeah, it's like he's suffering from PTSD.
Absolutely.
What I would equate it to is he's kind of having that same effect that Laurie Strode had in Halloween H2O.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Or she would see Michael and he's seeing Jason, but it's more of an apparition of their past.
And just being haunted. And and then he gets it taken care of. We go down to breakfast where all the teens are going to eat, and my girl Violet, the best girl, she accidentally sets a place for the two guys who will not be joining them. They kind of give her flack. She's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to, calm down. And
I like her line. She's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I told you she's best girl. Tommy's there, and they can't find Billy. And the doc asked Tommy, he's like, do you mind going... No, it's not Billy, it's Eddie. His name's Eddie. The
Eddie.
dick bag. Eddie is because his name's Eddie, and I remember this because Eddie shows up, and he has clearly gone into Tommy's room and taken one of his masks and is fucking with him. He like jump scares him basically with the mask, and then he takes the mask off. He's like, what? Can't you laugh? Don't you have a sense of humor? Don't you whatever? And then we get episode 1 in the Tommy Jarvis ass beatings, because he whoops Eddie's ass. He picks him up in a fireman's carry and puts him through a table. She takes her gun, she's going to our coyote after her chicken, and she's going. She goes to the door, and there's this random
Tommy
dude
works out
there.
because when we saw like a moment ago in that flashback scene, he didn't have a shirt on. He was all like
and not like to earn a meal,
jacked.
Basically.
So it like kind of sets it up for this moment that he has the ability to do this to this dude, and he totally hands his ass to him.
I guess he's supposed to be there to. Then after they break that up, we cut to possible killer. Place, he could be the killer. He's some random dude with Junior in their house or cabin or whatever. It's just as dirty as they are.
She does say one of my favorite lines of the movie to Junior. She calls him. She's like, I forget what he says to her.
She hears something. Like, she thinks it's a fox after her dildo. Oh God. We got to the sleazy, not ambulance driver, but the whatever medical transport guy that we saw earlier, the one that helped transport Tommy Pinehurst. He is picking up his girl as she's closing up the local diner, and he is driving a '68 Charger, and I get an erection just looking at that car. But anyway, and she's like, "All right, you got to let me finish up." She goes in and she's finishing up, and she goes into the bathroom.
One of my other favorite lines.
Yeah, go ahead.
She starts to unzip her waitress dress, and she says, "It's showtime," and unveils her breasts.
Yeah, right. I mean, just there, dude. Like, and it's awesome, and they're great, and she's great, and everything.
She also didn't even have to, like, it wasn't in her contract to do that. She told the director, "Hey, what if I did this?"
Saying she's a real MVP.
Yeah, so she did that all on her own accord. Yeah.
While sleazy guy's waiting for her, he's doing blow in his car. He just had hidden. Yeah, man, he's just doing blow. Our killer, does he stab him while he's sitting in the car, or does he get him to come out?
I think he comes out to yell at her and honk the horn, and he's like, "Hey, hurry the fuck up." And then that's when he gets the butcher knife in the back of his bald spot.
Yeah, or axe. Yeah.
Or an axe.
Yeah, it's an axe in his bald spot. And then she comes out. But this is after she has changed her clothes. She's into her partying clothes. As she's walking out out of the diner, there's a jump scare with a cat in a closed diner. It's like, why? She comes out and, she's like, where are you? Bam, she gets an axe to wherever. She's dead. So she was on screen for all of 3 minutes.
Apparently the actress, too, had to go to the bathroom when they were filming this in location and at that weird diner, but there weren't any bathrooms. So she ran across the highway with an axe in her stomach.
Good for her. See?
Yeah.
That's great. We cut back. Tommy is still having visions of Jason. He's not really there, but he's seeing Jason. We go to the sheriff and all that has, him and his guys. They had to deal with the poor kid that got axed up. And of course, then they had to deal with the stupid greasers. And then obviously the two that we just talked about got murdered. So there is another killer loose around Crystal Lake. He's sitting in his office. The mayor comes in and the mayor's grilling his ass. Why haven't you caught this guy? What's going on? This is a small town. It's supposed to feel safe. People are supposed to feel safe. The sheriff says, "You know what I think, Mayor? I think it's Jason Voorhees." And the mayor flips his shit. He goes, "Jason Voorhees? Jason Voorhees is dead. Jason Voorhees is cremated. He is ashes." He's like, "Did you see the body, Mayor?" And the mayor lies and says, "Yes." Mm-hmm. Says that, "Yeah, I saw it. He was cremated." Then as he storms off, he has one of my favorite generic lines that a lot of TV cops and movie cops have gotten. "Your ass is on the line." I love that. It's so great.
I love that, and I also love when he says that he's cremated. He's like, he's ash, and he grabs the ashtray because the police chief is smoking a cigar, and he hands him the ashtray. He like empties it and hands it in his hand. Yeah, I like that as like a little added substance to that.
Yeah, he's like, "There's your Jason Voorhees." Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. I mean, you're really pushing that lie. We cut to Eddie and Tina, our two promiscuous kid from the they're gonna go boink in the woods. We don't think it's the farmer's land again, the Hubbard's land, but they're gonna go have some fun. This is one where the director said that this is the scene that he shot a long sex scene, like way too long for a slasher movie, and this is what he was hoping would distract them from the gore, that they would be so busy wanting to cut this scene, they'd leave the other stuff alone. Of course, it didn't work. So they have their little fun, and we get her breasts on the screen, and they're magnificent. So we're up to 4, and that's pretty great. He goes to clean off, and she's like, "Oh, hurry back." and everything. Before that, I forgot the most random ass shit. That farmhand from the farm is spying on them doing it. The killer comes from behind and what? Just stabs him with the machete or something?
Yeah, and I want to say that the girl at the diner, the douchebag, bag of dicks in the car, and this guy are all generic kills in my opinion. Like super low ratings on all of them. But yeah,
for me, they're all two. They're all two.
Yeah. They're all two. Yeah, and he basically takes them out. One thing I do want to add before we get to the business of this scenery is the director, when he was filming this very long sex scene, is he was yelling at the two actors, or actor and actresses. He was like, yeah, fuck her,
Oh, God.
Go, get her. And then the guy who was editing the movie was there too, and he's like, what do you want me to do with this? And the director turns, he's like, make it look like a Pepsi commercial.
Yes. Yes. Yep. There's a lot of trivia for this movie that we're going to get into, and it's probably has the most trivia compared to like maybe the first one. Of behind the scenes nonsense.
Or even too, like I don't know if maybe that's the reason why it still like sets itself apart. But also stands up to the other movies in some capacity.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Eddie and Tina, they're done boinking. Tina is just, she's just laying there looking at the sky, and the camera is just on her boobs. I mean, it is not hiding anything.
Boing.
Yeah, it's just there. And she looks up and she screams. She gets stabbed, but we kind of don't see it. We just see the handles of gardening shears.
Mm-hmm.
And the killer stabs down. We don't see where yet, and he squeezes them like he's cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, then we go to Eddie. He, like I said, he was getting cleaned up. He comes back. He sees his girl, and what the killer did was he jabbed him through her eyes because we see the aftermath. That's pretty cool. I wish we could have saw more of that, so I can only really give it a 3.
I'm gonna say 4 just because of the snap. Like when he closes it,
yeah.
You hear the
yeah.
Yeah.
Then we, obviously, here we go, cat and mouse running from our killer, and this is quite possibly the most improbable but awesome kill.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie is leaned, his back is against a tree, and he's freaking out, and he's looking for the killer. Our killer from behind slaps it's not a belt, it's just like a leather strap.
It's like it probably belongs in a horse saddle or something.
Yeah, and he wraps it around his head, around his eyes in the tree, and he puts a big stick through the 2 holes, and he's twisting the stick so that it's pulling, it's crushing his head against the tree. It lingers on it. Actually, I don't know considering how bad they got censored, I'm surprised this stayed in, but I mean, it shows the killer doing it, and he's screaming and bleeding, and then all of a sudden it just... You hear like a crunch, I guess, like his skull just cracking and breaking, and and he's dead. And what's great is the shots of the killer tightening the strap. He's turning it. I believe he's turning it clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
But between the cuts of Eddie screaming and the killer twisting at the very end, when the killer finally gets it twisted tight enough to where it kills him, he's twisting it counterclockwise.
Right.
So he's twisting it the wrong way. But yeah, that's a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the most interesting kills of the series because it's just so almost kind of bizarre. Like, could that work? Also, because of movie magic, like it just looks interesting that a horse like a leather strap that might belong on like a horse saddle or something, because it's got like these
metal
rings to it at the end. Yeah, that he puts the tree branch through, and then that's what he uses to crank it and tighten it. That's just really cool to watch. I don't know.
It really is, but you got to think, okay, let's say, this is obviously for the movies, because if you were Eddie, right, you're leaning against that tree, and you feel, then a slap, here comes, and you feel that strap coming across your face. Wouldn't you immediately just panic and freak out and before the killer could use that tree branch to lock it in place on those hooks, you'd be flailing and get out, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a Friday 13th movie. Realism goes out the fucking window. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. But so anyways, we got 2 more dead kids, but it is now the evening, and Pam, the assistant director, and Reggie are going to go visit Reggie's brother. And they invite Tommy along because the doc's like, hey, it might do him some good. Get out, get away from here. So they're going to go see Reggie's brother, Demon. And and Demon, and the sign says where they go, because they drive there in the pickup truck. Where they go, it says trailer park. But Demon very clearly lives in his van.
Mm-hmm.
Demon, I should say, is Miguel Nunez, played by him, who is an underrated horror champion.
Yeah, I would just say all around, Miguel Nunez Jr. is not only was he in Return of the Living Dead or the live-action Scooby-Doo Spider, he is in Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yep.
Carnosaur 2.
Yep.
People
Shadow
might
Zone.
recognize him. Yeah. People might recognize him more from Street Fighter 1994. Yeah, DJ, or the Eddie Murphy Martin Lawrence movie Life.
Or Joanna Man.
He
was so yeah, he's a fantastic actor, and I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves.
100%. Even he did good acting while homeless, because apparently on Return of the Living Dead 2, or Return of the Living Dead, the original, sorry, he was homeless when he would come to set every day and film that, and they didn't know till afterwards. So that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, because I've been homeless and it's no fun.
Yeah, and he's wearing some like Rick James leather clothing. And we should also mention, too, that Reggie himself, Reggie the Reckless, his younger brother, is wearing like a red tracksuit, which is, I'm going to guess, was very popular because of Run DMC, who also wore them that same exact year that this movie was made in 1984. So, yeah.
And I don't know if we've actually said this and that people don't know who these actors are. They are both men of color, and this is, we're kind of, talking about Return of the Living Dead here. He was the token black guy as Spider in that movie, and he lives till the end, till nobody lives. Yeah. But it's like he wasn't the first guy to be eaten by zombies or whatever. So good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go meet Demon, and I would like to point out that I wish I was cool enough to have the nickname Demon, that people just called me Demon. That'd be sweet as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. We meet Demon, and he's chilling with his girlfriend Anita, and she's a woman of color. She's very pretty. She didn't do much acting after this or before this.
Wow.
Yeah, she I believe she got into the medical field afterwards. We go meet Demon, and like I said, he totally, absolutely lives in his van, but he's super cool. While Pam and Reggie are hanging out with Demon and Anita, Tommy's still by the truck at the entryway where you can see the sign that says trailer park, which is the only reason I know why it's a trailer park. And then Junior shows up on is it a dirt bike? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and this is the return of Tommy Jarvis whoop ass part 2.
Yeah, this is episode 2 of Tommy Jarvis ass beatings, because Junior shows up and he's fucking with him, and then he realizes that Tommy is from Pinehurst, or the Nut House. You're one of them crazies. He takes a swing at Tommy or whatever, and Tommy beats him worse than he beat Eddie. Mm-hmm. He gut punches, hooks across the face, jabs, everything. He beats Junior bad, and it's great. It's awesome. As Reggie and Pam are coming back to the truck, they see this. They see him beating the shit out of Junior. Junior gets up, gets on his bike, and runs, but so does Tommy. Tommy just runs into the wood, and they can't find him. Because of that, that's supposed to be like, hey, maybe, Tommy's not here. Maybe he is the killer. But then we go back to Demon and his girl. This line's great. Oh, the damn enchiladas.
Them damn enchiladas.
He's got a shit, right? So he goes to the outhouse. He's kind of, he's sitting there doing his thing. And one thing that was kind of smart I guess this was maybe the director's idea. That's covered in graffiti. The outhouse is, and one of the graffiti is just Vic. It's his first and last name. I forget what the character's last name is. So it's kind of like maybe he got out of police custody. Maybe he's the killer.
And we should mention that too. It also does say like, please do not write on walls or whatever. But the reason because a friend asked me when he was watching this, he like texted me halfway through the movie. He's like, why is Tommy barely in this? I thought he was the main character. And it's like, well, it's setting up to kind of say like who's the killer. So yeah, that's it. That's why there's like not clearly a main character this whole movie. It's so bizarre.
Yeah,
like,
really.
Nobody's on.
Yeah. None of it doesn't focus on any of the kids. Tommy disappears for a lot. Like you said, for someone you might think is the main character, he's not on camera as much as you think.
Long stretches he'll be
of
gone
no Tommy.
from the whole movie. Yeah.
But I mean that's actually that's pretty cool. Demon is shitting. Anita fucks with him. She shakes the outhouse, right? And of course he freaks out. He's like, "Bitch, you gonna get yours?" I'm like, "Oh damn,
you're gonna get it, bitch."
Yeah, I'm like, "Damn, dude." Then
Ooh,
they start singing to each other,
baby.
Which is the most generic thing. I guess they couldn't afford a real song or something. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
the lyrics to a real song. And then she stops singing, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And then it shakes again. The outhouse shakes again. He's like, "Oh, you fucking with me again." He's like, "That's it." Pulls his pants up. He didn't wipe. He pulls his pants up, and he opens the door, and he's trying to get it open. And he looks down at the ground, and Anita's there with a slashed throat that I can only really give a 1 to.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure if she's supposed to be dead right there because the actress is clearly breathing. I don't know if she was supposed to be dying, but the actress is breathing. So Demon freaks out. He closes the door, and he's like just panicking in this out in the shitter. And this large metal spike comes through the wall and misses him. Our killer is jabbing a giant metal spike. Almost like I don't know, like an iron bar with a point on it that they used on like gates, on big fancy gates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I kept like trying to like, I remember slow it down, and I was like, what would that be on? Because I couldn't tell specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a railroad spike that's way, way too big.
Yeah.
But anyway, he misses him once, stabs again in a different hole. It gets him in the leg, and Demon's panicking, and then he stabs it one more time, and it goes through Demon's back out his chest, and he's dead.
It's 5 out of 5.
5. I go 4.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I would say it's mainly because of Demon's performance.
That I would say that, and the setup that he almost is kind of like stuck in there too, because her body blocks the door from fully opening.
Yeah, he can't get it open. Yeah.
And then just the setup of like, them damn enchiladas, because he does offer him to Reggie in his like van, his like shag van. It's like, hey, you want some enchiladas, little brother?
Yeah. There's those damn enchiladas.
Damn enchiladas.
Yeah, but it's great. It's probably my favorite kill in this one, probably. But anyways, it's that or Eddie.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's because there's some good ones in this one. Yeah, you know what? It's probably top 3, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we cut back to Pinehurst, and Reggie's there with Pam, and the only ones that are there are Robin, Jake with the stutter, and my girl Violet. And they're like, we can't find Reggie's grandfather. We can't find the doctor. And Pam's like, has Tommy come back? They're like, no, he has not. She's like, okay, Jake, you're in charge. Keep everyone here. Reggie, I want you asleep by the time I get back. I'm going to go try to find everybody. And I should point out that here is Violet's best look. Her makeup is amazing. She is so fucking hot in this scene.
Yeah, and her hair with the wave and everything, which I wish women still did their hair like this so bad.
Her makeup is kind of reminiscent of Blade Runner
and The Cure.
Yes, and it is amazing, and I love it. So she goes running off to see if she can find anybody. Grandpa, Doc, Tommy, somebody. The other 3 go into their, I don't know what you got, halfway house.
I would like to make love with you.
Well, almost. First, we got to get back to Junior losing his mind at the farmhouse.
Shit.
He's on his dirt bike, and he's basically just tearing ass around his yard. He hurt me, Mama. He hurt me. But because the bike is so loud, she can't hear him, what he's saying, and she's yelling, come eat your stew, come eat your stew. He can't hear her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just yelling at each other and not hearing a damn word, and all you can hear is motorbike engine. And as he's just basically doing donuts in his front yard, as he passes a tree, a hand sticks out. Is it with a machete?
Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow old Junior was going fast enough, and that machete was sharp enough that it decapitated him clean through the neck, and his head just goes flying. It's not bad. 3. At least we get to see the head fly.
I would say 2. It's a good kill though, still.
Yeah, but and like right behind it, obviously the bike cuts off because he's dead, and Ethel's in there's like, finally, you fucking idiot, come in here and eat your stew. And she hears what she thinks is Junior. I just want to mention that she's making this stew for Junior, and like this is her special stew, and she spits in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just, I'm like, oh god. Anyways, where she's making it is there's a window outside, like right there, like she can look right out of it. And all of a sudden, in one motion, our killer with a meat cleaver in his hand punches through the window and puts the cleaver into her face.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in one motion. Like, he punched through the glass and still had enough force that he embedded the cleaver in her face. It's like a 4 out of 5.
Maybe a 3 out of 5. This is one of those rare cases where I actually got to meet Ethel in real life, the actress.
Oh, really?
And Junior. Yeah, I met him at a con
Were they cool?
last year. Yeah, they were super cool. Super like down to earth and everything. Ethel's super old now. She can barely hear, but
oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, yeah, she was a sweet lady. But she said that the director said, because she squeezes a tomato right when she gets stabbed. She's like, yeah, we just want you to squeeze this as hard as you can, and she did it. And he's like, we need more intensity. Like, because they had to do a second take on her squeezing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and she's like, are you serious? Really?
And like, please squeeze the tomato with more intensity.
Yeah, so apparently they had to
this time.
Yeah, they had to do that scene twice. But.
And that's ridiculous. And I believe it was the director that said that this was going to be another one where it was more involved. Like, they were going to she was going to be decapitated as well, and her head was going to roll off into the stew pot. But, it just... Yeah, it just never happened. But then we cut back to our kids, and Robin and Jake are on the couch, one couch, watching a movie while Reggie is asleep on another couch. And the movie they're watching is the 1951 A Place in the Sun, which the only reason I can guess why this was the movie that they picked, other than it probably being public domain, is the scene that they're showing, them watching. The lady drowns in a lake in that scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't tell why.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can think that they would show that they picked that movie. Anyways, this is where our boy, sadly, Jake stutters and tries to profess his feelings for Robin, and is, I want to make love to you. And she literally just laughs at him.
Yep.
And
I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, I mean, she didn't even like, oh, thank you, that's so sweet, but I'm not interested. No, it was she like snort laughs until she's actually just laughing.
I've never taken that type of dejection before. I mean, there's been times where it's like, oh, I'm not in the mood. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But laughing? Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, and so he's like, I was kidding. I was, I didn't mean it. And she's still literally just laughing at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, whatever. And he goes, I'll fuck off then. He goes upstairs and he knocks on Violet's room, but she has her music blaring, and he's trying to talk to her. So then you kind of realize that he didn't really want to make love maybe to Robin. He just wants to get his dick wet with anyone that he can, because he's clearly now trying to do it with Vi.
Oh,
yeah. Which, I mean, that'd be me, like, the first day I was there. But
That'd be me before I even got there, and then
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and she is popping and locking to His Eyes by Pseudo Echo, a new wave Australian group.
There's a man with no life in his
in his eyes. Yeah, and I mean, she is like doing it, man. You know, he's like, she brushes him off, and so he fucks off. Then we get, he's in the hallway, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, machete to the head.
Boom. Let's say 1 out of 5. It's an off-screen kill.
I mean, you just kind of see it, so I'll give it a 2. But yeah, it's meh. Then
I do like how he's like, "Hey, Vi, can I talk to you?" And she's like, "Can it wait?" And he like closes the door. He's like, "Well, no."
Yeah, he's horny. He wants to get some.
Yeah.
But he's dead. And then Robin, she goes up to her room. She's getting ready for bed. And she's actually talking to herself in the mirror. She's like, you just laughed at him real good, Robin. Like, she's mad at herself for what she did. And then she takes off her clothes and we see her boobs. So we're up to 6. And it's great. Yeah. She gets into, for some reason, she has bunk beds. She gets into the top bunk and she's trying to go to sleep. And she turns over and there is the dead Jake in her bunk for some reason. Then our killer, does he come from below again and like stab up through her?
No.
What does he do?
He slices her neck.
From below, right? Because she's in the top bunk.
Or maybe I'm confusing it with part 1.
Maybe. But I just know she's dead, and it's not great, and it's like 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I should say the extremely long takes of her topless, though. As you said, nudity for violence. I mean, if we were doing a lead up to the kill, then it'd be a, good 4 out of 5. But yeah, probably just a 1.
All right, so we're down to, just counting the kids, we have a missing Tommy and we have Violet dancing. That's it. Absolutely no surprise. Because of her loud music, our killer sneaks up on Violet and pins her against the wall and stabs her through with a machete. And it's like a 2.
Yeah, it's like a 2.
The original was she was going to be doing aerobics and he was going to stab the machete up her vagina. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a picture of her with the bloody pants of the vagina stab, but that's the only thing left of that for whatever reason.
And I believe they did eventually use it though in the Friday the 13th the game for the current console generation. So yeah.
Ah yes, yay! It made a comeback. Good for it. All right, so so sadly, Best Girl is dead. We never got to see her boobs. It's awful. It's a sad day. Now I should point out that it is now, because we're near the end of a F-13 movie. It is just pouring down, raining and storming.
Of course,
just a vicious storm. Pam gets back, and this is Reggie has found all the 3 dead teens. For whatever reason, our killer put them all in Violet's room, I believe.
Tommy's room.
Tommy's room. Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh shit! So she grabs Reggie, and they're just gonna run. They're running through the woods, and they come across the road, and there is the ambulance. What's our boy's name? What's the dick bag? Oh yeah, he's dead. His body.
Well, we should say that they do see the killer beforehand.
They do.
They see Jason quote unquote Jason, and then when they're running to the ambulance, somehow he gets there before them. He teleports over there,
even though it's not Jason. He's got good cardio.
Yeah, even though it's not Jason. And then one of the things that people like to point out is that Pam. There's actually 2 things we should point out. One thing that will never ever be in a movie ever again is that she's with a 10-year-old boy, Reggie the Reckless. She's wearing a white see-through shirt with no bra, and it's raining outside.
Yeah, and it's great.
For the whole last 35, 40 minutes of this movie, you can see her breast through it. And when they're running through the woods, the second thing is she keeps losing her sweater, and then in a scene later, she'll have it on her. Yeah,
yeah.
Those little things.
Continuity's hard. But yes, and the actress that played her said that she didn't feel attractive in the movie until she had the wet T-shirt on. Until she was hit with the sprinklers. I'm like, okay, lady, sure. I mean, you were pretty before then, but if that's what made you feel empowered, go for it. But yeah, so we're up to
she's
8
super
boobs.
pretty. Yeah, 8 boobs.
And it's amazing. But yeah, they get to the ambulance. Jason is there, and we have a dead. What is it, Duke?
Duke.
Yeah, fuck him. He's dead, and we should point out that our Jason here, looks a little different. His skin is very clean, of what we can see. His skin is very smooth, very clean. He's smaller. He's not small, but he's smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And his mask is completely undamaged and has different markings on it. It's not the red markings, it's blue markings under the eye holes.
And he's wearing like a automobile, like mechanic's uniform that would be more home to like Michael Myers.
Yes. So we get that, and so they're like, oh shit, when they're at the ambulance, so they run back, and she kind of loses track of Reggie as she's running. But she's still running, and she runs across our good doctor. He has been railroad spiked through the head and pinned to a tree. Normally, I'd give this a 1 because it's off screen, but because it is a railroad spike through the skull, I will give it a 2.
I'm going to give it a 1 because it's like you didn't get to see it, and it's just there for like a split second, literally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and anyway, she still hasn't found Reggie. She gets back to Pinehurst. She's in the main building. Bam! Here comes Grandpa's body flying through the window. Grandpa's dead.
Poor
And
guy.
again, 1 out of 5 but it is funny that another body has been thrown through a window.
Yeah, this is like number 4 or 5 in the series.
Something like that. I know it's pretty great, but yeah, all right. So now we are literally down to Reggie, who we're missing, Tommy, who we're missing, and Pam. And
Wet shirt Pam.
Yeah. She's running from her killer. They're back outside. She falls over. She's gonna die, right? Bitches be tripping over nothing. She falls over. He's gonna machete her, and out of the barn in some sort of construction landscaping vehicle, like a baby bulldozer, is Reggie. He rams our killer with the front end shovel thing and saves Pam. But our killer gets up because he's trying to do his best Jason impression. Yes.
He could have moved out of the way because Pam literally rolls over.
He was doe-eyed.
Yeah, but we should mention that this is the first sustained damage to the body because there's a lot that goes on in this 5 minutes or this next like 10 minutes of the end of the movie. But it's like a real big damage from the lawnmower or whatever it is, to his midsection.
But he gets up and he's still kind of hobbling after him. They run into the barn. Our pseudo Jason comes in and he's looking for him because they're hidden. And all of a sudden, fucking Pam busts out with a chainsaw, and she is dueling this Jason wannabe. He's got a machete, she's got a chainsaw, and they're like sword dueling or something.
It's pretty rad.
It is amazing and stupid all at the same time. So they do that, and she gets his arm. I believe she gashes his arm pretty good.
Yeah.
But then the saw dies, runs out of gas or whatever. She just throws the saw at him, and I think she misses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, oh, fuck, now what? Because even though he's been hit and got his arm chopped pretty good, he's still coming. Tommy appears. So we know it's not Tommy as the killer, because there he is. And he's calling Jason. Our Jason walks over to him, and Tommy is scared and is standing perfectly still. Perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason, quote unquote, slashes and still doesn't kill him.
Yeah, given the nature of how easily he's been killing everyone else in this movie, it's kind of surprising that he doesn't get him that one time. He gets him right across the chest, which is a good slash, but it doesn't kill him. And Tommy thinks he's having another PTSD moment where he's seeing, but he should obviously be like, wait, you don't have red scars on your mask, or
you look clean, kind of.
Yeah. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but no, he gets a gash, and I believe our Jason thinks that maybe Tommy's dead, so he goes up into the hayloft of the barn where our other two are hiding. They're both hiding. He's picking and prodding, and he sees Reggie. He goes after her, but Pam comes out, and she shoulder blocks him, kind of tackles him. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But then he's getting the upper hand. Reggie jumps off like a hay bale and knocks our Jason out of the loft. So we think. They go to look over outside. Wouldn't you know it, he grabbed onto the ledge and he's okay. And he grabs Reggie's foot. He's going to pull Reggie down with him because we should mention that if they fall off out of this hayloft onto the ground, there for some reason there's just a bed of spikes.
Yeah, of like something you drag to like plow for farm equipment or something, like a field.
Or something you uppercut somebody into in Mortal Kombat. Seriously, it is literally just a bed of spikes chilling right there.
It's the pit, literally. From
it
Mortal
is.
Kombat.
It is the pit. Yeah. Yeah.
Tommy did use the pocket knife to stab him.
He stabbed him in the thigh. That's right.
In the thigh, which is something that would return in the video games specifically for that moment in this movie.
Yeah, that's your get out of jail free card for one grab.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. God, I hate it when they have those little fucking things.
Yeah.
But he's got Reggie by the foot. She's holding Reggie by the hand, trying to hold him so that he doesn't pull Reggie off. Somehow Tommy makes it up to the hayloft. He sees the dropped machete and he grabs it and he lops our pseudo Jason's arm off, the one that's holding on to Reggie's foot or leg. Jason falls and lands in the pit of Mortal Kombat, and somehow magically, the way that he fell back first, he's looking up. Somehow that fall not only caused the hockey mask to pop off, even though no spike went through his head, it caused the hockey mask to pop off and caused the what would you call it? A mask that he's wearing underneath the hockey mask, a makeup, a bald cap, what?
Well, it's weird because when he falls off the barn, I believe that's when the hockey mask falls off for no reason.
Okay. But he still has that like bald cap, skin suit thing, whatever.
Like when he lands on the bed of spikes, he literally is wearing a prosthetic, like fake ass Jason mask that like people would wear at a Comic-Con now.
Yeah, yeah. It's great because they talk about it behind the scenes and everything. The camera shows our killer, and it's Roy, the other ambulance driver. And we're like, and what was great was they said that they lingered on it and kind of shot it in a different way because they realized that people weren't going to know who the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they linger on it, and anyways, all three of our survivors, they get taken to the hospital, and the sheriff comes up and talking to Pam, and he's like, yeah, it was Roy. He was kind of a loner, kept to himself, didn't even really talk to the other EMT guys. We found his wallet and found this. He was Joey's dad, the mentally slow kid that was axed up at the beginning that set this whole movie in motion.
Now, well, here's the thing, Rob. Did you get like all the like subtle references when Duke's like, hey, Roy, come get your hands dirty after he sees that it's his son that's died. And then Roy foreshadows like staring at the camera, almost breaking the fourth wall. Like, yeah, I'm going to kill all these sons of bitches. Did it catch you by surprise, or were you like, yeah, it's fucking Roy?
Well, like I said, the first Friday the 13th movie I can remember watching is this one. And I was a little kid. I couldn't tell you if I got it back then. If you know it's coming, you can see it. Especially there's something when they're sheriff and the EMT guys and they're taking care of the dead greasers. And the sheriff says something, and Roy goes, "Huh? What'd you say, Sheriff? You talking to me?" He's like, "No." And it's that, and hey, Roy, get your hands dirty. So yeah, it was all there. It was stupid, but it's all there.
Well, I will agree. It's a little goofy, little clown shoes, but I think when I first saw this, I genuinely thought like, well, obviously it's Roy, unless they're like trying to point me really hard towards him and it's somebody else. But then when Tommy showed up, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's Roy.
Yeah, it had to be Roy then, because the farmhand who was the other suspect, and possibly maybe you might think the doctor, the other was a suspect. They're both dead. It could have still been Vic, but that would have been a stretch, because then they would have explained how this one kid got out of like custody and got back to the yeah.
There's no scene to create a revelation that like it might be him. Like if they were like, oh, Vic got out of custody and we're on the lookout for him, but then he would have had to have been a victim. So
Yeah, so he's like, yep, that was, I guess, just set him off. He was a loner, and it's like, okay, well, that's that. We cut to Tommy, and Tommy's messed up bad, but he's on oxygen and he's laying in the bed. Now, this is where it gets a little weird. Now, does he imagine Jason killing him first and then he wakes up?
I believe
or is it
the intention. Yeah.
I'm possessing you thing?
I think it's the I'm possessing you thing, but I think what people can do to get over this is because when Pam walks in the room, Tommy's behind the door with the mask on. For some reason, he's got a knife.
Yeah, it's like
people can just pretend when Pam turns around, Tommy's like, "Ha, gotcha," and he's joking because he's not going to kill her. He doesn't.
Because this was part of they wanted to turn Tommy into the killer.
Yeah,
the future of the franchise. Yeah. But yeah, that's
my question is
that's it.
Well, my question is like when the sheriff's talking to Pam, he's like showing her like, oh, we found Roy. He's got all these news clippings of Jason. How did they get a picture of Jason? Because one of those news clippings is literally part 4 Jason, like a picture of him. I always like, wait, how did that work out?
I was gonna say maybe they took a picture of his body, but even then that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Oopsie daisy.
Let's see a big stretch for me.
Yeah, but because he has what, like 3 or 4 newspaper clippings folded up in his wallet. Forgot about that.
Ma'am, we didn't find no boy.
Shut up. But yeah, and then this was originally going to be that set it off that Tommy was going to be the new killer, and Friday 13th was going in this direction. And even though this movie did make money, it was considered a success. It was not as big a success as the previous 4, and so they decided to abandon that.
Mm-hmm.
So we got part 6 instead, which we'll get to not next time.
Not next time.
Not next time.
Really quickly, when I was at the con, you know how they take questions from the audience?
Yeah.
I was going to ask them a question. I forget what it was. It was like can you tell us anything about the practical effects or something of that nature? There's 2 chicks with microphones, and I'm pretty sure you could find this on YouTube. They both went to like somebody that raised their hands. One was me and one was somebody else. And I thought I was going to go first, so I was right about to ask my question. But the other girl went first, so then I immediately forgot my question. I'm like, oh, wait, never mind. So then they come back to me afterwards, and she's like, here's my... And I was like, I don't remember my question. Wait, what? What was it? So then I just blurted. I was like, what was your guys' favorite kill of the movie? And then like the guy who technically like played Jason in
Tom
this movie.
Morgan.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I've been asked that before many times. And then he just didn't answer it and they moved on. And I was like, wow. I fucked that up.
He's a nice dude. He's just really kind of like old.
Yeah.
My friend Anna, shout out to Anna if she listens to this. She is a volunteer that works for the Scares That Care, that charity event that I sometimes help out with. She was 2 or 3 years ago. Tom was there as a guest, and she was his assistant. The one that like ran and got his food and made sure he, all his pens worked, etc. I asked her. I said, do you have any stories or anything you want me to talk about Tom? On the podcast? She said that she couldn't remember any stories, even though she remembers him telling some. She just couldn't remember the stories themselves. She did want to say that he is the sweetest man and that she adopted him as her grandfather. She said that he is a sweet country man, and I believe it was Tom and his wife. His wife is just there because usually the guests are allowed to bring like a +1 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they said Anna said that they are just the sweetest people, and I'm like, another Jason Voorhees actor that is just a sweet dude.
Wow. Yeah. Next time I see a sweet like old country man, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, hey, I'm gonna adopt you.
Yeah, she said that he was just super sweet, and Anna is an old school punk. Like when me and you weren't even twinkles in our daddy's eyes, she was out there living the punk life. She still rocks it. She still rocks the punk lifestyle because she's a hairdresser and stylist. so she can kind of dress and do what she wants. And she loved him. Apparently, he's just the nice, kindest old man.
Wow, that's pretty rad. I think I've actually talked to her on one of your posts before.
Yeah, you may have. It's thanks to her that, Scares That Care is a big thing, and, we've helped so many people. Back to part 5. It is such a, we talked about it. It's a bizarre entry. It's a black sheep entry. I gotta say, I would enjoy it more if our copycat killer hadn't been a copycat killer. It was just a new killer. If Roy hadn't gone for the Jason Voorhees look, he was just another dude. I would enjoyed it.
I don't know. I kind of like it. Part of it is actually attached to my memories. Probably one of my earliest memories when I was like 4 or 5. I went over to my grandma's house when I was like 4 or 5, and she came out actually of her house to greet us in part 5 getup with the mechanic's uniform and the part 5 mask.
Really?
Yeah, and she's like, and she tried to scare me. I was like, it's you, Nana.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so like every time I watch like Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, when his grandma comes out with the Kiss mask on, I'm like, oh, that's my grandma, but part 5 Jason.
I got you. Yeah, that I can see where you're gonna have that special place in your heart for this entry.
Yeah. And even like seeing it for the first time, I still thought like just as a slasher alone, it's actually pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah, as a slasher, it's good. The parts with Tommy having his PTSD are great. The biggest thing is the censorship.
Yeah.
Which is not their fault. It's not the filmmakers. Yeah, but we did get awesome. We got 8 boobs, dude.
8 boobs. No HLA,
and they were all
but a
on
lot of boobs.
Too. It's not like there was like quick little side boob or something.
Yeah, full on.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
I would say probably like a 8 out of 10, honestly, for this one.
Okay, if you didn't have that memory of your grandmother, what would you go with?
Then I'd probably put it down to a 6 out of 10.
That's exactly where I'm at, 6.
Yeah.
6 but I can 10. I can understand yours though, obviously.
Totally. One of the greatest memories ever.
Yeah, it's cool. So that is the first 5 Friday the 13th films. And if you want to count versus Freddy and the remake, we have 7 more to do.
Yeah, I think, but the plan right now is to next time come back with something completely irregular that nobody will expect.
Yes,
and
because I sure as hell didn't expect it.
Yeah, it was one of my picks. And then after that, it's up to Rob. If he wants to come back immediately to F13, we can. If we can wait. I think the plan is going to be like do an F13, then we'll do like something else after this, because we've kind of done like the main core beginning part of the series. So.
Yeah, because this is no spoilers. Anybody that knows this, starting with 6, we are at Zombie Jason.
Yep.
And that's a whole new thing. And this is also even where Jason, with part 6, started becoming mainstream.
This is true.
He eventually, there's music videos about him. Remember he showed up on fucking Arsenio Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have all that to look forward to, but we do need to give Camp Crystal Lake a break.
So expect something interesting next week that nobody and their fucking grandma is going to expect to see next week. And then after that, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, what Stefan is alluding to is that we'll be covering the movie about the killer earthworms called Squirm. No, I'm kidding. That movie's insane, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that, though.
I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but it's real dumb. Then we can do Night of the Lepus about the giant killer rabbits.
That would be cool.
With DeForest Kelley, Bones from the original Star Trek.
That would be awesome. I know at one point people aren't going to consider it a horror movie. I do. But we should do like Man versus Spider or something at some point too.
As long as we never do the recent, well, I guess it's like 3 or 4 years old now, but Itsy Bitsy. I don't know if you ever got around to that one.
I haven't even heard of it. Yeah.
I mean, this was a theatrical release, and it had a budget behind it. And, dude, I refuse to cover that movie. If for some reason you get wild hair up your ass and you want to cover it, you cover it by yourself or you get a special guest. Because I'm not covering that movie.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, that movie is off. But I think we should leave the viewers with something that will leave them thinking. And that thinking is, viewers, why do you think Stefan's favorite video game is Resident Evil 6? I just started that up again tonight.
Oh God,
it's a good game, dude. It's fun. Fuck you.
No, it's not fun. It's not good. Fuck you.
Fuck you. You don't like Revelations either, or Revelations 2?
I like parts of Revelations.
Okay.
Parts of Revelations 2.
Okay, here is this is my executive decision. I'm making it live, doing it now. After Stefan's episode next time, the big surprise, my episode is just going to be he and I arguing about various horror video games, whether it's franchises, whether it's individual games, whether it's survival horror, or just a game that has a horror aesthetic. He and I will be discussing and arguing those for, I don't know, an hour and a half.
Expect a lot of fuck yous.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be great, man. I'm going to get real drunk for that one.
Hell yeah, same.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Obviously, anyone that watches this and actually listens, please subscribe and just, recommend to people. Be like, hey, new horror podcast. Cool.
Yeah, and we love comments in the videos. We love them. Makes us feel important. Share it with your friends. Share it on your Reddits. Share it in Facebook groups. MySpace, whatever. MySpace a thing?
You know what? Do it anyways.
Pinterest.
TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, man, we're going to make it. And I was thinking about this real quick before we sign off. If for some reason we were to ever catch on and become popular, right, and say as a bonus thing, we were to ever do Let's Plays of horror games, you're controlling it. It doesn't matter what we're playing. Unless it's Splatterhouse, you're controlling it.
We're never doing Martian Gothic, though. I'm throwing out that out there.
No, like, fuck that game. Because, say, all right, like, I know RE2 is probably your favorite game ever, or one of them. If you were to play RE2, not only would it look smooth, and we could have conversations because you wouldn't have to concentrate so hard, I could troll you while you're playing. I could just fuck with you. And that is good entertainment.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. For someone, not me, obviously, but yes.
Yeah, but again, thank you everybody for listening, and we will be back with a very special episode.
There was no in this movie at all, so none of that.
No.
All right, bye everyone.